Fáilte rómhaigh clárala than now you're talking. In this programme, we'll learn how to talk about events in the recent past. We'll begin with the question, Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine? Where did you go at the weekend? Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Well, hora, caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine? Take another look at them.
Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Well, hora, caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine? Where did you go at the weekend? Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Caháte, where? Caháte dehatú, where did you go? Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine? Where did you go at the weekend? Before moving on, we'll watch a few more examples of that question, but this time you try and say it before the people in the scenes do. Caháte dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Bhfuil mal sean bhhaid gur am aigad. Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Dosfin, Jummer Tatu. Gumai, Gurmai, agus tú hen? Agabra. Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Hello, Raymond.
Jummer Tatu, Anya.
Tá mai. Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
We'll watch those scenes again, but this time with the answers included. The answers will all begin with Huirmaga, I went to, Huirmaga.
Bhfuil mal sean bhhaid gur am aigad. Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine? Bhfuil mag líma wadi.
Dosfin, Jummer Tatu. Gumai, Gurmai, agus tú hen? Agabra. Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine? Bhfuil mag bal farste?
Hello, Raymond.
Jummer Tatu, Anya.
Tá mai. Caite dehatú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Chuaigh me go Loch Keil.
Huirmaga Loch Keil, I went to Loch Keil. Huirmaga Belfirste, I went to Belfast. Huirmaga Limawadi, I went to Limavady.
Bhfuil mag líma wadi.
Bhfuil mag bal farste?
Chuaigh me go Loch Keil.
Chuaigh me go Loch Keil. I went to Loch Keil. Chuaigh me go Loch Keil.
If you wanted to know what someone did at the weekend, you'd ask, Deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine? What did you do at the weekend? Deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Go deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Brí, go deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine?
Deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine? What did you do at the weekend? Deireadh tú ag deireadh seachtaine?
The Calabuga, Killybegs. The Calabuga, like a lot of other places, got its name from the fact that there was an early Christian settlement in the area. The Calabuga literally means the little churches. There's no trace now of the little churches that gave the Calabuga its name, but one can easily imagine why the monks chose this place.
As I mentioned before, many place names have the words for churches and monasteries in them. Monastery is a monastery. Champel, Kill, Gaeilge and Donach are all words for churches, and Aragal is an oratory. You'll hear them all in the following place names.
Monastery Avin, Avin's Monastery. Champel Fadrig, Patrick's Church. Gaeilge, Church. Donach Mór, Big Church. Aragal, Oratory. The Calabuga, which is now one of the largest and busiest fishing ports in the country, has a long maritime history. One of the most notable vessels to have visited here was the Girona of the Armada fleet, which anchored in the Calabugga in 1588. The Girona, like many of the Armada ships, ran into difficulties and was in need of repairs. She docked in the Calabugga, and it was here that she was repaired and refitted. When the Girona was repaired, she set sail for Scotland, hopelessly overcrowded and not exactly what you could call seaworthy. Disaster struck at Lacada Point in County Antrim. She foundered on submerged rocks, and only a handful of the 1,300 on board survived. So far in this programme, we've learned how to ask someone where they went at the weekend, how to answer that question, and how to ask someone what they did at the weekend.
Gaeilge tuige Jerry Shartanya.
We go Paris.
Paris, I aim on Gajiran tuige Jerry Shartanya.
We go Belfast.
If you wanted to say that you took part in some activity, for example swimming, you would say Humasnau, I went swimming, Humasnau. We look at some scenes that we saw earlier, but this time with the answers included.
Gajiran tuige Jerry Shartanya.
Humasnau.
Ah, Brie. Get there into Jerry Shartanya.
Humaroyart.
Gaeilge tuige Jerry Shartanya.
Humashul.
Déan tú go deireadh seachtaine. Chuir mai iascarat.
O, Jimothe, tu Alan, go mai, stu hen. Go mai, Jerry tuige Jerry Shartanya. When I go Belfast shop at the art.
When I go Belfast a shop at the art. I went to Belfast shopping. When I go Belfast a shop at the art. When I iascarat. I went fishing. When I iascarat. When I shul, I went walking. When I shul. When I rohayacht, I went cycling. When I rohayacht. When I snow, I went swimming. When I snow.
A snow, swimming, a rohayacht, cycling, a shul, walking, a gieskaracht, fishing. The woman in the last scene answered the question with Humaga Belfast to shop at the Racht. I went shopping in Belfast. If you wanted to say that you went to a place, for example, the library, you'd say Humaga Jean Yorlan, Gujin, to the. Let's listen to what these people did yesterday in Ye.
Humaga Jean Yorlan.
Humaga Jean Terfort.
Humaga Jean Shopper.
Go, to, Gujin, to the. Humaga Jean Terfort. I went to the airport. Listen to them again.
Humaga Jean Yorlan.
Humaga Jean Terfort.
Humaga Jean Shopper.
Humaga Jean shopper. I went to the shop. Humaga Jean shopper.
If you wanted to say that you went to an event, for example, a football match, you'd say Huma ig Lihipella. Huma ig, I went to. Huma ig. Watch these.
Where my clear pella.
Why make drama?
Where meg Banish.
Huma ig Banish. I went to a wedding. Listen again.
Where meg Banish.
Why make drama?
Where my clear pella.
When my clear pella, I went to a football match. When my clear pella.
The days of the weekend are Jehinya, Jasaharn and Jadoni. Jehinya, Friday, Jasaharn, Saturday, Jadoni, Sunday. We'll have a look now at some scenes where Jehinya, Jasaharn and Jadoni are used.
Hello, Yermud. Did you want to?
Má go micro maigad.
Did you ring to a Jerry Shartanya?
Well, chuim me go leat can Jehinya siopdara agus chuim snáid is arm.
Gaeilge Jerry Shartanya.
Chuai me go bal fearste de Saharan agus go hartmhaid a dónaí.
Gur maigad. Go dé run tú ige déú seaartaine?
Chuoi meag disco de Saharan agus ag clí pelle de dónaí.
Chuoi me se snáir de híine ag sig drama de Saharan.
Go dé run tú ige déú seaachtaine?
Well, chuoi me ag scanan de híine ag Gaeilge de Saharan agus chuoi me snáid de dónaí.
Take another look at them.
Hello, Yermud. Gyd i'n tetu?
Mae gymaig yr ymaig.
Gyd i'n rhaid tu ag gerw siart yn ie?
Wel, hwy mae gael can dy hun yn siop dyr, agos hwy mae snawd y sarn.
Caid y dad ag gerw siart, nie?
Chuai me go bal fearste de Saharan agus go hartmhaid a dónaí.
Gur maigad. Go dé run tú ige déú seaartaine?
Chuoi meag disco de Saharan agus ag clí pelle de dónaí.
Chuoi me se snáir de híine ag sig drama de Saharan.
Go dé run tú ige gerw seaachtaine?
Well, chuoi me ag scanan de híine ag Gaeilge de Saharan agus chuoi me snáid de dónaí.
Jehíne. Friday. Jehíne. Jesarn. Saturday. Jesarn. Jadoni. Sunday. Jadoni.
We'll have a look now at the other days of the week, Monday to Thursday.
Jaluin. Monday. Jaluin. Jamarch. Tuesday. Jamarch. Jacadine. Wednesday. Jacadine. Jardine. Thursday. Jardine.
Let's see what's happening in Ballamore. Imelda phones Connor at home, forcing him to lie to Louise to allay her suspicions. Sean has seen Connor and Imelda together twice and is becoming very curious. Look out for Bima Gobarinu, I'll be working today, Gashtiracht, acting, and Bima Buelulish, I'll be meeting him.
Hello.
Hello, Connor. Imelda and Shaw. I'm a lot less than you.
And you? Michael Yard. Again, werk like Martian. Gaffy Christie.
Connor!
Give your phone.
Gail media, but my gobber in you.
A fi gael meidi ar y ffôn i slwye. Ni fe dwi gabar gwyd Jardine. Mar sin. Hegr aber y ti yn wy'n yw.
Aber tea in you. Jenim sa aber tea a handle. Jaluin, Jamart, Jacadin, Jardine, Jahine. Kai ma scriptal, the shan offer Gail media. Chef mar well too.
Hello, Gummalishkal.
Sha?
Asashtra too. You two go to Gail media and chat in Chakacha.
Fi, be me gastra at rís Ketin agus Jardine.
Gumai. I mean, two go to Connor Blair.
Be, be me biela leis ar bwel. Smiling me gobar leis.
Oh, my. Asashtra on white too.
Oh.
Hello, Gaeilge.
Ayan. Gummalishkal, time is mart.
Cé hí an bhain sin?
Bannigan.
Bannigan. Do an Harjualing.
Ilan yer bia gomori.
Is Asher an white too?
A yer dra fan bommacha.
If you want to be specific about a period of time during the day that you did something, you can use the following words: Majin, morning, Tranona, evening, and Ihe, night. Majin Jahine, Friday morning, Tranona Jasaharn, Saturday evening, Ihegoni, Sunday night. Did you notice that the J was dropped after the word Ihe? Majin, Tranona, and Ihe are included in the following scenes, and pay particular attention to words preceded by Ihe.
Hello, Kathleen. Do you want to?
Come on, see sounds to him.
Gobre. Do you want to get Shatney?
Well, we might call you Pella, Majin Jahine, I guess from a snow, Majin Jasahern.
Abertina, do you want to?
Smac a bra.
Get you have to get Shatney.
Well, we ma ag drama Tranona Jasahern. Agus we ma Gaeilge Tranona Jadoni.
Déan tú go dé seaartna. Fuair mé ag deiscuí a thn agus ag gluthe peile I bhhaí.
Go dtíann tú go deireadh seaachtaine.
When I scan on the hine. When I sharpened it, Majin the Sahan. Agus a curm hiall, Ihahan. As when I snow, Majin the Doni.
In that last scene, there were two new words: Scanan, a film, and Curramhiall, a concert. Let's look at it again.
Go dtíann tú go deireadh seaachtaine.
When I scan on the hine. When I sharpened it, Majin the Sahan. Agus a curm hiall, Ihahan. As when I snow, Majin the Doni.
Majin. Morning. Majin. Majin Jahine. Majin Jasahern. Majin Jadoni. Tranona. Evening. Tranona. Tranona Jahine. Tranona Jasahern. Tranona Jadoni. Ihe. Night. Ihe. Ihe Ine. Ihe Hahern. Ihe Goni.
We can now adapt the two questions that we've covered so far to ask about a specific day and even a time of day. The rules that we learned earlier still apply. The days stay as they are after Majin and Tranona, but after Ihe, the J is dropped. We'll begin with Jaluin.
Catch a jay to Majin Jaluin. Why ma go leam wadi?
Alan, catch you had to Tranona the March.
Tranona the March? Oh, why ma go hard wahan?
Could you run to me, Shaddy?
Why must know?
Could you run to me here, Dean?
Why ma clí pella?
Agus in ye?
Né. Why ma yescarat?
In that last scene, the man asked, "Could you run to Ihe your Dean? What did you do on Thursday night?" And after getting the answer, he asked, "Agus in ye?" And yesterday? Listen again.
Catch a jay to Majin Jaluin. Why ma go leam wadi?
Alan, catch you had to Tranona the March.
Tranona the March? Oh, why ma go hard wahan?
Could you run to me, Shaddy?
Why must know?
Could you run to me here, Dean?
Why ma clí pella?
Agus in ye?
Né. Why ma yescarat?
We'll have a listen now to the Connacht and Munster versions of "Could you run to a Gidiru Shachtanya" and "Kahacha Jahatu."
Kijk wel toe wat het. Kan ik toe ik daar schachten? Daar is ja. Waar is?
That is not it.
Kan go eens daar schachten, hè?
That's a kirky.
Dat is.
Who's getting drama? I guess who is the Maharashon?
Back in Ballamore, we find out that Imelda is going away for a while. Deirdre, meanwhile, bumps into an old school friend of hers. Look out for Parch and Rama, a role in a play, Erfa 3V for 3 months, and
But while I'm Vimichaltar, I'd like to be a musician.
Wow! Smaid am drid Gaeilge.
Gurmaigad. Arcur letter show.
Gyda ton?
The Portugal Mangrama. The Magubing last group by 3V.
Yr ffai 3V?
Na bi brona. The Marashkan wool.
Georgia Blair.
Che?
Is mis mi am a key. Bhí mar a scal lad.
Michael McKee. Hannig arú mórort. Gaite jaite?
Chuoi mag a sasna. Bhí mas a London Media School. Ach tá mo chonaín seánis. Tá ma studio hénagum. Bhhaile ma bheith me cheoltar. Iardre. Tá sé inta tú e ceall a ríist.
Gurmaigad.
Wel, caim emacht. Tá coniugum.
Mai glór.
Bhhaile a gálig scanan an nacht.
Beidir. Gydyn Tom.
Be ma gwber gydyn sé. Gydyn ffaile hynny sé.
Mai glór. Chief ma túti fy mwyd yn ffectorlan.
Lehynny sé mar sin.
Gwybre.
Slain i iardre.
Slán. Shen Hammond.
In our next programme, we'll highlight the words and phrases you need to excuse yourself from company, and also how to say where you're going and why. So, Gajishan, Slán Tamil.
In this episode of Now You're Talking, you heard Caite Jahatu i Gajeru Shachtanya.
Huamagalach Creel.
Kaje Rentu i Gajeru Shachtanya.
Huama Snow.
Huamagajin Shopper.
Huama Clihipella.
Jaluin.
Jamarch.
Jacadine.
Jardine.
Jahinia.
Jasaharn.
Jadoni.
Majin.
Tranona.
Iche.